Aerial footage has shown the enormous queues of Britons waiting to get a glimpse of the Queen ahead of her lying in state at Westminster Hall, with lines stretching over Lambeth Bridge, nearly a mile's walk from where the Queen's coffin will rest, and beyond. The crowds are reportedly growing by several people every 30 seconds with no sign of abating as the government issues warnings over how to handle the continuously moving queues. It is thought the queue might reach 4 miles up the Thames to Southwark Park in Bermondsey before the public are even admitted to the lying-in state. People have been camping out for days already for the chance to pay their respects to the Queen. People arriving at 7 a.m. on Tuesday managed only to secure places behind the first 100 or so. The queues are now predicted to stretch almost 10 miles across London at the peak of visiting times as the Queen's coffin is laid to rest until next Monday. The overwhelming sentiment among those waiting has been a need to pay their respects, those present have said, with many adding they had never really considered themselves royalists. Small friendship groups had started to form among those waiting, with people offering around their snacks and keeping an eye on their neighbors' bags so they could take comfort breaks. The period of Her Majesty's lying in state will come to an end at 6:30 a.m. next Monday as London then prepares for what is almost certainly going to be the biggest state funeral the capital has ever experienced. Queues are already extending miles as Britons wait patiently to say goodbye to the Queen. Image, BBC. Thousands of people queue across Lambeth Bridge before the Queen has arrived at Westminster Hall. Image, BBC. People of all ages have joined the huge queues to pay their respects to the Queen ahead of her state funeral. Rosie Bucknell, aged just 7, was one of the youngest present and was there partly for her grandfather Edward, who at the same age as her camped out in London for the Queen's coronation in 1953. Her mother, retired Army Major Aisling Bucknell, won permission from her daughter's school to take her to the lying-in state. Little Rosie, from Stanford Dingley in Berkshire, whose yellow wristband 8269 marked her place near the front of the queue said, "I set my alarm at 5 o'clock in the morning. We got on the train at 6 o'clock and we were here at 7 o'clock." Asked why she was there, Rosie gave reasons shared by almost every adult in the queue. She said, "I think it is good if we say goodbye to the Queen before she goes up to heaven. When we go into where she is, we will pay our respects." Read more. Kate and Sophie seen in poignant pictures staring at Queen's crown, reveal, the government has issued warnings over the constantly moving queues. Image, BBC, and the mourners in line were not limited to those living in the UK, with a number of people travelling from abroad to say their goodbyes. Kate Payson, 58, had flown from Lisbon just to be in London for the lying-in state. Ms. Payson, who grew up in the UK but emigrated in 1998, said, "I always felt that when the Queen died I would come and pay my respects. My father was in the army and I grew up in a royalist household, and I think it's important to come and be part of history. I think the Queen for me always made me feel proud to be British." Sarah Santangelo, 50, is based in the US but has been back in the UK for a few months. She said, "I always said that if anything ever happened to the Queen I would fly back, it just happened I was already here when she passed away." Ms. Santangelo added, "She sacrificed her whole life for this country, the least I could do is pay my respects. Don't miss, Prince Andrew will be frozen out forever," says Phil Dampier. Opinion, Camilla, Kate and Sophie on brink of tears as Queen lies in state. Report, Biden phones King Charles and shares memories of late Queen. Reveal, Sharon Osbourne delivered croissants, Kit Kat chocolate bars and soft drinks to people in line. Image, Getty. Trending among those present in the queues was former X Factor judge Sharon Osbourne as well, who handed out food to those waiting in line. Speaking next to the queues, Ms. Osbourne said, "I've come down to talk to all these amazing people waiting to pay their respects. I wish I could wait in line for 30 hours myself, but I'm just not that brave anymore. One woman in the queue shouted, "You look amazing, Sharon," to which she replied, "Thank you, my darling." The star delivered croissants, Kit Kat chocolate bars, and soft drinks to people while she chatted to them. Read next. Prince Harry looks down as he passes Cenotaph. Meghan and Kate Middleton stand side by side at service for Queen. Paramedics swoop in as royal mourner collapses at coffin procession. Heartbreaking reason of riderless horse at front of Queen's procession. Meghan wears pearl earrings given to her by Queen at procession.